Alright, so we've mixed our cal fluid and we're going to initialize the calibration process that again is going to last for 3 days on the patient. So our fluid is dated, labeled, we've got our reference number here visible, we've got our other label here. We're going to go ahead and slide that up into the plastic slot on the bag holder. Now we've got our sensor kit here. Always check the expiration date on this sensor kit. This one expires 12/25/08. Well, today's date is 12/8/08. This is very important. These are temperature sensitive and they're also date sensitive, so always check that. Now within here you've got 5 individually packaged pieces. So we're going to open this kit. The first one is labeled bag number 1. This is our infusion set. This is the part that I emphasize the most. When priming this, we want to get every last bit of air out of this line. So when we open this up, we've got another package within that. And we've got an infusion set with the curly Q tubing and a spike for the bag. So the first thing we're going to do is clamp this white clamp off so we don't start spilling fluid all over the ground. And we're going to go ahead and spike the bag. We've got a white pull tab, and we're going to pull the cap from our spike and go ahead and twist it on in there. So it looks like this. Now we're going to go ahead and hang this in the pouch because we want to put it up here so we've got gravity to work with. And have a stopcock here, and we've got the curly Q tubing. When we're priming this, we want to let this free flow out of this stopcock. Now the easiest way to do that is to turn it off to the curly Q tubing, and then we're going to open this stopcock and let it free flow out. So you'll need a trash can or a sink nearby. Take this yellow cap off and keep it clean. And then we're going to unclamp it and just let it free flow fluid out. And this comes out pretty fast. Don't be afraid of wasting any. There's plenty of fluid to go and clear all your air. So where we want to pay special attention is to this pressure disc. And if you massage this pressure disc, you can see a bunch of little bubbles coming out of it. That's where it likes to hide. So do whatever we need to do to clear that out. Thump it and massage the pressure disc. And once you see that that's pretty clear, we can go ahead and reclamp. The flow stops, and then we'll recap our stopcock and turn it back to the off position at the port. Now we're ready to move on to step number 2 in our sensor kit, and that is the important part, the actual sensor. So we're putting bag number 2, the sensor, in line with the infusion set. Now there's only one way to do this. Male to female lure fittings, and it connects like this. Take a look at the sensor here. That's where all the electrodes are. Then at our other end we've got bag number 3, and that's called the Wally bag. This is where our actual cal ampules are located. That's going to help us to calibrate it. So we uncap both those and connect that end to end. So we've got a closed system here. We've got our tubing going from our infusion bag that we mixed. We've primed all the way up to this stopcock. From here to here, it's still not primed, but the machine's going to do that later, and we'll get to that part. So what we're going to do is just hang this up. And now we're ready to actually turn on the monitor. So we'll move over to the monitor on-off switch right here. It's going to go through a testing mode first, and then the first thing we're going to see is load IV set. So the easiest way to do that is push the black lever to the side. That opens up. We're going to flip the white lever down, and we're going to bring over our IV set. Always put the pressure disc towards the machine. Start off like this. Top end first, stretch it down, and again that pressure disc towards the machine, and the clear tubing fits in between. There's two black sensors down here. We want to keep these clean at all times. It'll give you a false reading, but that's where it senses if there was actually air in the line at that part. You'd get an air in line warning here. Now if you ever got that warning and you knew you didn't have air in your line, then those sensors are dirty, so you got to clean those with an alcohol swab. So to close the door like it's telling you to, flip the white lever up and shut the door. Now this is immediately going to sense all that, and it says open IV clamp and press star. So we're going to open our white clamp down here and then press our star key. This is always our acknowledgement key. Has sensor passed calibration? No, it has not, so we'll acknowledge it with the star key. Confirm that calibration is required. It says no, but we want to change our answer to yes, so we've got the arrow keys to do that. Switch it up to yes and hit asterisk. Calibration required, press star to continue. Confirm that the via is not connected to the patient. Press and hold, clear volume infused. So now after every shift, what most hospitals do is they track the amount of volume infused to the patient. It's reading here from the last patient, 26.3 went to the patient in a certain amount of time. What we're doing at the first of the calibration is starting off with 0. So we'll hit clear volume infused here, hold it down till it hits 0, and then we'll let it go. So the monitor always asks you if it's a new via bag. This is also the part that you're going to see when you change bag after 24 hours. We're going to say yes, it is a new bag. We're going to confirm that it's a new IV bag by changing our answer to yes. And then this is the important part, entering this bag reference number. Remember our number was 20, and that's on the bag and the bag holder. So we're just going to scroll up till we get to 20, and then we'll hit the asterisk key. Now that's the part that you have to get to within 30 minutes. We're well within the 30 minutes now, but you have to tell it that reference number before 30 minutes is up. Otherwise, the monitor may have a false CO2 reading. Enter the volume to be infused. This is always going to be 450 mils. The machine's going to tell you when you've got 50 mils left in the bag, and it's a 500 mil bag. Tap IV spike, then press purge key. This is referring to the IV spike that we spiked the bag with, so we'll give that a few taps just to clear the air. Then we'll press the purge key. Now this purge key is important because remember we didn't prime this curlicue tubing. This is the portion where it's going to prime all that tubing, and then when it does this 15 mil purge, which I'll start, hit the purge key, and again it's going to start a 15 mil purge. What we want to do is pay special attention to the stopcock. We'll thump that, make sure we get all the air out of that, and then we're going to thump on the lure fitting here to make sure we got any last little micro bubble out of that. So as you can see from the sensor, there's a lot of spots where air can get trapped, and that's the purpose of this 15 mil purge. It's purging up into this collection bag that has the 2 ampules in it. And we'll go ahead and untape the tubing. So when it's done with this 15 mil purge, we're going to enter into our 10-minute wait period. Now I'll explain that as soon as we get to it here. So now we've gotten to this insert sensor set into sensor housing. We're going to pull the sensor housing off. This is the infamous dinosaur guy that you've got. Hold it level with the sensor, electronics facing you, and the dinosaur is hanging upside down. We'll click that into place, just like that. And the monitor senses it, and it goes into its 10-minute wait period. Now, you don't have to be present for this. In fact, I encourage you not to sit here and watch it. Wheel it off to the side, and you can go do other duties, or you can get the extension set ready for the patient, which we'll go over in another video.